Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Now, some of y'all sent me the thing about Aisha Curry and her interview, and I watched the interview. I feel like the majority of it, the part where she said in the beginning, where she was saying she wasn't planning on getting married and having kids and all of that. That was early on in the interview, and for me, more so than her saying that, because my wife say the same thing because like I tell y'all, when you look for love, it eludes you. But when you become love, like when you're loving yourself, you pursuing your dreams, you have vision, you have goals, you have ambition, love surrounds you. Because that's attractive to a man when a woman is on her mission and she has ambition and she is driven. That's attractive. When you just sitting and waiting on a man and you're stagnant and you're idle in your life and you're not doing everything you could be doing, it's not attractive. And a man could tell that you're waiting to be rescued. So a woman should be caught off guard to an extent when it comes to love, because she should be focused on her and her goals and her dreams and everything she wants. And then a man comes and interrupts that process. He comes to say, hey, get in. Hey, how are you? Can you see me? Hey, what's going on? My name is such and such. What's your name? And she already knew him from childhood and all of that. And it's just one of them things to where when a man about to make it, he about to be successful or whatever, he goes back to what's familiar, because he look around and he see the girls at college. Steph was able to see the girls at college at Davidson, where he went to college, and he was able to see them going through their HO phase. And then I seen the video y'all sent me of a sister saying Steph Curry should have had a HO phase. I mean, not Steph Curry, Aisha Curry should have had a HO phase. And that's absolutely wrong. Because see, the thing about a woman don't need a HO phase. Like that mess a woman name up, that mess a woman brand up, that mess. Like women don't look at men having dealt with women the same way as men looking at women who have dealt with a bunch of men. Like we're not the same, and we don't view it the same. And anybody who says they do are lying. A woman is seen totally different than a man. And so when it comes to that, so any woman, and like Drea Michelle said, she said you could delete your wholeness, and you cannot. You could change your life, but what you did and who you were, that'll always be there. And the stain is always worse on a woman than it is a man, because women themselves expect a man to have gotten his stuff out the way and live his life. And if you notice, a man who can have multiple women is the man who is wanted by women. Like no woman wants a guy that no other woman wants. And yes, a woman could say they want a man that other women want, but that man have the discipline not to be with those women. But that's just rarely the case. It's rarely reality. So you could say it all you want, but it's just not reality. And that's why you see a lot of men who had, who went out there and lived their life and did their thing, end up settling down with a good woman, because that woman don't look into his past. She look at who he is and who he can become, and then they leave the past there. And yes, you would say, oh, the same thing could happen for the woman, and sometimes it does, and it can, but you can't count on that. You can't bet on that, especially if it's gonna be in your own city. So like, yeah, if you had that phase and you had that phase on the East Coast, and then you move to the West Coast and you meet a man on the West Coast, oh, you good. Or vice versa, oh, you good. But if you have that phase and then you expect to meet a man in your same city, that man gonna ask you like, well, who all have you dated here? Like, I don't want to look like a fool. I don't want to be pulling up on nobody or be working with a guy, around a guy, and he done slept with you. And then you're gonna have to be honest. And if you're not honest, a man gonna end up saying something to him like, oh yeah, me and her, yeah. And then when he find out, now he gone. He done. That's it for a man, because men are far more territorial than women. And women prove that every day by fighting over a man. Women go to blows over a man. Women cuss each other out online over a man. So women show that they will put up with a man cheating. It's women every day who choose to take a man back after he done went and had a baby with another woman, after he done cheated on her. Men, on average, do not do that. A lot of people try to say that, but if a woman goes sleep with another man, it's not a lot of men that's gonna stay after that. And the men who stay after that is so that he can get his lick back and have the last laugh, and then he leaves. But very, very, very rarely will you see a woman cheat on a man physically and the man stay. Now, I feel like almost every man will overlook emotional cheating and things like that, you know, having a guy friend and stuff like that. But if a woman get on her back for another man, it's pretty much about gonna be a wrap. If that man find out about that, it's pretty much gonna be a wrap. And so you have to realize, and you got to understand. You got to realize, you got to understand. And never, ever, ever, if you haven't had no HO phase, don't go have one. Do not. That is horrible advice. That is horrible advice. And that advice will only come from a woman. And a woman cannot marry you and be with you or whatever unless you want to be with a woman. But a man will never condone or okay a heterosexual man. A down low man, yes, he will say, I don't care about your past. I don't care if you had a HO phase. I don't care if you had 2 or 3 of those. A down low man will tell you that. Or a gay man will tell you that. A heterosexual man will never in a million years approve of a woman having a admitted HO phase. Tell you that right now. Like, so when you look at Drea Michelle, you got to understand she also got a man who is, which for one, her phase that she went through don't necessarily have to be considered a HO phase. It's just that she dated some guys in the public eye. But she could have had the same amount of boyfriends as any other woman. But she the one who came out and said that you could delete that. But her man also paints his nails. He also is on video getting dry humped in a playful setting with another man, with his ankles behind his ears and getting humped in the booty by a teammate or a roommate or something like that. They had clothes on. But just still, that's very, very, like never in a million years. Like I'll jump off a bridge if that happened to me. And he lived his life normal. And so that's why she's able to be with him. Like men who are like that and they that sexually fluid and they, you know, will do something like paint their nails, that's not a normal man. That's not the typical guy. Like that's a different guy. That's a exception to the rule. And so if you want that type of guy, yeah, okay, boom. You can go have your little phase. But that phase right there with a regular man, it's not gonna fly. It's not gonna fly. And a lot of people saying Aisha Curry is embarrassing her husband. I'll tell you the interview, what shocked me the most is her cursing. Because I thought they was like devout Christians. But I don't know. I thought it was like devout Christians. But she say she from Canada. And I know I got a homeboy who is from Barbados. And he used to say like the D word or stuff like that. And I'll be like, man, you cursing or you curse. And he be like, that's not a curse word. So, but I think she said the S word. I don't know if she said the F word. But she was cussing. And I was like, man. So to me, that was the most shocking part because I just don't believe Christians should curse. But she was on a podcast with a girl who was cussing up too. But so for me, I don't believe you should mix the sacred with the profane. And if your heart is pure and your heart is sacred, that you shouldn't curse. And especially your kids gonna see this. And so it's like, if you don't want them to curse, then you shouldn't curse. But she might not care if they curse. And so some people don't care about cursing. Me, I feel like the heart and the mouth are connected, and that your heart determines what come out your mouth, and then what come out your mouth determines your sensitivity to your behavior, to your actions. And so the more filthy your mouth is, the more filthy your actions will eventually be. And so it's kind of one of those things that sometimes the good guys could get a good girl or a pretty girl, and the pretty girl still be the one. A lot of times the woman is the one that kind of loosens the man up, because men could be creatures of habit. And a lot of times the woman is the one that'll get the man, if it's a spiritual man or a religious man. A lot of times the woman is the one that could introduce him into sin and like kind of pull him away from God. And so as a woman, you got to be careful of that. You got to make sure if you meet a man and he's a man of God, that you don't try to water down his walk with God or make him less serious about his walk with God. Because if you get him to do that, like what happened with Solomon, like what happened with David, and them getting away from God, it made them get into sin. And so for men, for us to be faithful to a woman, we have to be very adamant and very staunch and diligent in our relationship with God. Like, we have to be intense. It has to be very serious, because sex is so easy for us to have and to do. And cheating is so easy for a man, because it's just like sleeping with a woman feels like a part of our nature. It's, for a man, sleeping with a woman is like breathing. Whereas for your average woman, your typical woman, sleeping with a man is not like breathing. Like, it takes a lot more out of her, a lot more thought, a lot more, she's more attached. Whereas men could be, still be attached, but yet detached at the same time. So it's a very interesting dynamic that you're not going to really understand. You kind of just have to live by the laws and just walk by it. And so a lot of times a woman will loosen a man up and get him to kind of, the same way like Eve and Adam in the garden. Like, it was Eve that got him to do what God told him not to do. Like, and had it not been the woman that he was sleeping with, I don't think a talking serpent or a talking animal or anything else on earth would have got Adam to turn against God. But his woman was able to do that. The same thing with Delilah with Samson. And even on the other side of things, like Esther and her having the influence she had. And I mean, Ruth wasn't doing nothing but bending over, picking up stuff in the field, and caught Boaz's eye. And Boaz went and talked to his family member who was in line for Ruth and got that set up, and went ahead and married Ruth after she came and laid at his feet. Like, she got him to jump rank, make things happen, go down, talk, get stuff sorted out. Like, a woman has a lot of influence. And so that's where we struggle at. And as men and as men of God, is sometimes keeping our woman on that right path. So it's like she want to go out and do these interviews, and then these interviews just bring a lot of unnecessary scrutiny, and then stuff she's saying being taken out of context. So then it once again hurls Steph back into this place of like everybody looking at Steph Curry like he looks stupid. And like women are saying, sis, just pass him on to me. Like, sis, just let that man go. Like, you unhappy, you don't want that man, you ain't want to be married, you ain't want to have kids, you thought you was gonna be the boss, you thought you was gonna be the breadwinner. And everybody looking at like Aisha, like, why are you talking? Like, why do you want to talk? But it's like, she got a mouth, and she got a life, and she got a heart, and she got dreams, and she's a human. Like, she was an actress. They say Aisha Curry was in Hannah Montana. Like, she was out there. Like, she was living her life, doing her thing. So it's one of them situations where like she wanna be somebody. She wanna be seen. That's why she did her little cooking thing and a book and all of that different stuff, because she wanna do something. She wanna make something happen. And so it's just one of those things to where, you got to understand that a lot of women feel like that. It's not crazy. A lot of women feel like that. And it's a human. Like, to where I coach a lot of women, and it's like, hey, they want to live their life. They want to have their thing. They want to do something. Like, they want to be a person. Like, every person has a purpose. And a lot of people don't want to just be reduced to just wife and mom, or just husband and father. And so But one thing you should never do and never think that a man is gonna be okay with is you going out and having an HO phase. And but God bless Steph. And I mean, I don't know what all he do in his life and what all kind of arrangements they got. You never know what's going on behind closed doors. And sometimes marriage can be a business, and sometimes you just stay together for the sake of the brand and the image and all of that. So you never know what people got going on. But and I could say God bless Steph, but we don't know who Steph is behind closed doors. We don't know how he, and she spoke highly of him. She spoke highly of him. And so it's one of them things where we really don't know behind the scenes what they got going on and who they are and how they really do their thing and what it is. But just to say, like, that advice, I'm gonna tell y'all this, that advice that y'all are hearing online, and I've heard this before about go have a HO phase. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing for a man or a woman. It is more common for some men who at a certain level, but it's not a good thing. Like, soul ties are real. When you go through that stuff, like, you will have visions, you will have dreams, you will have memories, and it take a lot of work to break that stuff. It is never healthy. It is never smart. And only ignorant heathens would suggest having a HO phase. And I done been out there, and I'm not suggesting it. I wish I could do it all over. I ought to save myself until marriage. Like, it's just not worth it. I don't care what nobody say. It's not worth it. But hey, this Tony Gaskins got a album released tonight, gospel album. Gentleman who produced W.A.R. If you got iTunes Music, go get W.A.R. Wisdom After Rebellion. He did another album, so me and the boys popping out to support him. And y'all stream W.A.R. all day while you working. Let that right there play. Let it get in a little algorithm. I want more men gifted to every man in your life. It's about men breaking free from pornography, lust. It's about men being better fathers, being better husbands. And so if you type in W.A.R, might be a dot after the R, Tony A. Gaskins Jr. on Spotify or on iTunes, it's on there. And on Spotify, you can share it with every man in your phone. Whether you're a man or a woman watching this, share it with every man in your phone. Want to get that out there, get the guys to listen to it. It give us a chance to cry in the dark. Give us a chance to cry, to feel, to have that emotion. Tell him to listen to it when he's going to sleep or when he's driving to work by himself or driving home. And we're going to pray that it touches heart and mind and it inspires some type of growth, some type of change. And let's make that happen. But hey, Tony Gaston here, God bless you. All the important links in the description. We coming in on the close for the film. You will see it. So become a producer on our film, trying to hit that goal so we can make that happen. If you could join us, please do so. If not, God bless you. Also this Sunday, we're having a fourth quarter conference on Tony Gaston's Academy. You'll see that. It's a 4 power hours. You'll get the email tomorrow if you're already a student on Tony Gaston Academy. Got a lot going on. Staying busy, pressing forward, punching the devil in his eye. Letting him know that, hey, no matter what you're trying to do, devil, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep working. So God bless you. Keep your head up. We'll talk soon.